Hi, welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me. This review is about the EBL AA and AAA battery charger. I'll show you the unboxing, how to use it, and if you wait right through to the end, I'll share some tips and tricks and general questions about the device, and also some tips to save a little bit of extra money. So this is the box the EBL battery recharger came in. It charges both AA and AAA batteries. This particular one is made for the UK, so it's got a UK standard plug, but more about that later. Nothing particularly special about the box, except possibly these instructions here, which are really quite interesting. So it's for indoor use only, it's not water protected, it is not safe outside, but it automatically charges and also maintains the batteries at a trickle charge once they're fully charged. So it's quite an intelligent device. So how does it come? What comes in the box? There we go. Right, several things in here. So this particular one came with two sets of 4 batteries, one set of 4 AA batteries and one set of AAA batteries. There are a number of buying choices available on Amazon. It comes with a power cable. This one's is a mains chargeable version, but they also have USB chargeable versions, and again this comes with a standard UK plug. Then of course the charging pack itself. It holds up to 8 batteries at a time. You can mix and match AA and AAA. The thing is though, you have to charge them in pairs, so effectively it takes 4 sets of 2 batteries to make up the 8 batteries, and each set of 2 has to be the same sort of battery. And in the end there of course is the standard connector to plug it in. And lastly, there are a couple of pieces of literature and information and instructions as is standard with most products these days. Let's start with looking at the batteries themselves. EBL are a good brand. They've been around for a number of years. One of the interesting things with rechargeable batteries, I think, is you notice the weight. These are a fairly weighty version compared to some other brands, and usually the weight dictates how much of the particular chemicals are in there. The heavier they are, the more that the charge they seem to hold, the more reliable, the longer they last. This one is the AAA version. It's 1,100 milliamp hours, which is a fairly decent size. But also, these are the AA batteries, and that's 2,800 milliamp hours. So these are both high capacity. Clearly, the AA is a bigger battery; it's just physically bigger, and that's how they can get more chemicals in there, and it can actually hold more charge. This particular option, as I said earlier, happens to come with 4 AA or 4 AAA. There are various other buying options available, and you can mix and match the batteries. So if you're someone who needs AA as opposed to AAA, you buy what you want. And EBL also sell batteries separately as well. So here's the charger. The way it works is very, very simple. All the positive ends of the batteries go into the top side here, and the bottom side has 2 different connectors. If it's an AA battery, they fit into the top. They're just physically bigger batteries, and the AAA batteries fit in down here, and they're at a bit of an angle, as you can see. You have to put them in pairs though, and you have to put equivalent pairs in each charging set. So you can't put, for instance, an AA and a AAA. That won't work, but you can put 2 AA's like this and 2 AAA's, and that will work fine. Here are the charging LEDs. There's only 4 of them because it charges the batteries in pairs. They start off red and they eventually go to green, and they'll maintain green as long as it's actually powered up. So the charger itself is really very light. There's no switches or anything like that. You just plug it on, switch it on at the wall, and it charges up these batteries. Now, I use these batteries, I'm a photographer, and I mostly use these batteries in things like flash equipment. Now, flash equipment, for those of you who know, fires the flash and then draws quite a large current out of the batteries in a very short time to keep charging up the flash. So unlike maybe toys that you might use this for, or maybe radios or other electronic equipment, flashes put quite an extreme load on these sorts of batteries. Some cheaper inferior makes of batteries do not work very well in flash guns. However, I've been using these for a little while now, and they are completely faultless. They work, they hold a good charge, I get a lot of life out of them, and it all works really very well. So there's not really a huge amount more to say. It's a bit of a utility type device. It just works. The batteries hold their charge after they've been charged for a few weeks. You don't need to keep them on charge all the time, and they also have a limited life. I think the charging cycles of these is something like 1,000 or so charging cycles, but in reality I think most people tend to lose the batteries or they get damaged long before that happens to come. And if you use batteries, particularly in toys, if you've got younger children and they just consume the batteries, this is a very economical way of making sure that you don't spend a huge amount of money on batteries as well as the toys. One of the tricks I used to use when the children were younger is I'd get a set of these batteries, make sure they were all charged up overnight, and so in the morning, lots of new batteries. They got worn out and drained through the day. Children moved on to other toys, then of course you charge them up at night again and you were ready for the next day. A little bit of planning makes Christmas go very well. Plugging it in the mains, you see it comes on charging. We've got two greens where there are no batteries, and of course where the batteries are connected, it's an orangey red colour. Now these batteries, so the instructions say, come originally from the factory 20% charge. That's a safety reason why they ship them. So the best thing to do is to put them on charge when you receive them, otherwise there won't be much power in them. Batteries like this, they tend to reach full capacity after you've used them 2 or 3 times and recharge them. The charging cycle takes about 2 hours. You plug it in, leave it. The device doesn't get hot at all. I've had it sitting on carpet or a table. There is no fan in here. There is no noise. There is no smells. You just plug it in, leave it. I often just, as I said earlier, put them in overnight and just let it charge up over the evening. You don't have to wait till they're fully charged. Clearly, you can take them out earlier. They won't be fully charged, but they'll have an amount of power in depending on how long they've been on the charger. The other great thing about this is when these eventually do turn green, if you leave this plugged in, they will put a very gentle trickle charge into the batteries that just keep them in peak condition, just ready for you to use. So some questions you might be asking. For those of you who are not resident in the UK, we run on 240 volts main supply. Most of the rest of the world works on 110. As far as I'm aware, this is a dual power supply unit, so you can plug it in at 110, 240, it just works. Clearly, the other end of this wire, you need the appropriate plug or adapter to make sure it works in 110. The other thing you might be asking is, does it beep when the batteries are fully charged? It doesn't, and I suspect the reason for that is each pair of batteries might finish charging at a different time. The only indication you've got that they are charged is these green indicators. What happens if I lose my batteries or I need more? EBL or other brands do sell these batteries. AA and AAA are standard sizes, I believe, across the globe actually, but certainly they are in UK and Europe. And you can buy additional rechargeable batteries. Does this unit charge C cells or D cells, the bigger batteries? The answer is no. It only charges AA and AAA batteries. Does it charge the 9-volt batteries? No, there are no connections for those either. How long does it take to charge? Well, in my experience, when you first get the batteries, it's a few hours. I think it's probably about 5 or 6 hours. But because there's no beep, I've never really noticed. I've just it's sort of a mental note when I've come back. Typically for my use, and clearly it's probably because I don't drain the batteries completely, typically 2 hours tops them back up to the level that they're at. So I guess I don't really use all of the battery power on the occasions that I take them out. Will these batteries work in devices like cameras, PSP remote controllers, TV remote controllers? Well, the answer is yes, they will. Pretty much any device that will take a standard AA or AAA battery will fit one of these batteries. The thing you've got to be a little bit careful about is the application. So unlike standard non-rechargeable batteries of this type, these batteries don't quite hold the current in the same way. So for using them in devices where you wouldn't normally change them very often, for instance like TV remote controllers, is probably not the best use of them. The best use of this sort of battery are in devices that drain the battery fairly quickly. So children's toys are a really good example. As I said earlier, I use flash guns for my photography, which also drains them, or other maybe mechanical thing, whisks or various things like that, fans or what have you, that drain the batteries reasonably quickly, where standard batteries wouldn't typically have a very long life in terms of days or weeks. So that finishes the review, but now let's talk about some pricing. So this video was made in November 2019. The unit that you saw there, the 8 battery charger plus 4 AA batteries and 4 AAA batteries, was £18 on Amazon. If you'd like, you can buy 8 AA batteries just on their own for about £13, and you can buy 8 AAA batteries for about £10. I'll leave a link down below to the Amazon links where you can buy this battery charger and these batteries from. I don't get a commission, I'm not an affiliate, it's just for quick reference for yourself. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did. It really helps build my channel and encourages me to make more videos for your enjoyment. Thank you. Bye-bye.